Hello everybody and welcome to my living room and video number 2 of the DadRail Community Model Railway project. Hello and welcome once again. If this does happen to be the first video you've seen by me, then my name's Richard and I'm a freight train driver and former passenger train driver based in the southeast of England. And welcome once again to my living room. A view that quite a few of you would have seen when we're doing Train Sim World live streams, but you've often seen it from a different angle, from the computer looking out with me sat in front of it. It's probably worth me pointing out at this time that I am actually in the middle of renovating my living room, so do excuse the ladder, the wonky lampshade and all the other mess. So the reason I want to show you my living room from this angle is because this is where the model railway layout is going to be built, right here in this space here. I've had my tape measure out quite a lot recently. From this door handle, this is how precise we've got to be, from this door handle here right up to the door frame here, or should I say this box sticking out here, gives us exactly 16 foot. That's about 4 meters 80 in new money. And in terms of width, we're allowed about 6 foot in width, which is, I want to say 1 meter 50. Someone can translate that on Google. I think it's 1 meter 50. Since recording this, intensive negotiations have taken place and I've had to compromise. It's actually going to be 5 foot, not 6, but that is still 1 meter 50. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a spare room, I don't have a shed, I don't have a dining room or anything else where I can actually build this thing and leave it up permanently. So this has got to be a portable layout. I've got to be able to build it in this space here, put it away, put it somewhere out the way in an undecided location yet. But essentially, this is where it's going to be built. Now, I've been told by my lovely wife Danny, who many of you have seen on live streams bringing me cups of tea, I've been told that I'm only allowed to have the layout out once a year. That is currently up for negotiation, isn't it, darling? She's shaking her head, but you are on camera. That is up for negotiation, isn't it?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely it is. So in order to facilitate the building of this railway, I've had to send her to Portugal for 4 weeks to go and stay with her mother during the summer. Now she's taking the children with her, so I've got 4 weeks at home during the summer with nobody else in the house. Sounds like a good time to build a model railway. So from the last video, we spoke about kind of what we want to do with the railway. We want to make sure it's interesting. We want to make sure it's got lots of movement. We want to make sure it's accessible. And we've had lots of really good conversations over in the Discord server about how we're going to make that happen. If you want to join in the conversation over there, there is an invitation link in the description below to the Discord server. You're very welcome to come over there. And if you don't know what Discord is or you've never even heard of it, click on the link. It'll tell you everything you need to know. And we've got a really friendly community over there and people that will help you get started. So one of the things we didn't have last time was a track plan, but we have now got a track plan. Let's go and see. Come on, follow me to the computer. So we done a live stream about a week ago now where we actually done the track plan live using the AnyRail software. There have been a few amendments since then. I've had some really good suggestions on how we can make the fiddle yard better and how we can make the operations of it a little bit more interesting. So let's jump in and see the final, or maybe final, plan. So here we are on the live stream using the AnyRail software to construct the basic shape of the layout. Now if you do want to go and watch the live stream, I will put a link in the description below. And full disclosure, I am not associated or sponsored by AnyRail in any way, shape or form. I paid for the software myself and it was completely my choice to use it. I found it quite useful for envisaging exactly what we can fit into the space. I was quite surprised. I thought 16 foot was a reasonably sized layout, but when you start laying points and junctions and other track work, it turns out it's not very big at all. Anyway, if you do want to have a play with the AnyRail software, and I will say other software is available, but if you do want to have a play with it, Google AnyRail. There is a free demo version you can download. You can place up to 50 pieces, and it's worth going in and having a little play with. Anyway, by the end of the live stream, we had something that looked a bit like this. So as you can see from the diagram there, the basic idea of the layout is scenic area at the front with fiddle yard at the back, quite typical of a lot of exhibition layouts. Now the biggest problem I had when designing this was the fiddle yard itself, trying to get enough roads in and trying to get roads that were long enough to hold decent length trains. The main problem with this was I absolutely needed crossovers on the approach to the fiddle yard to be able to swap from the inside line to the outside line. However, I posted this on the Discord server and a couple of people, including Dave, I want to shout Dave out in particular, took the idea, come up with a few amendments. I then took those suggestions on board and remodelled it, and we now have something that looks like this. Well, as you can see, the design has been tidied up quite a lot, but we still have the same basic idea. We have an outside loop shown in blue and an inside loop shown in yellow. Now, each loop has its own independent fiddle yard with 3 lines in each, the outside loop being shown there in blue and the inside loop being shown in yellow. We then have this new centre fiddle yard which can be accessed by both lines with 4 lines of additional storage capacity. This removed the need to have the crossovers on the approach to the fiddle yards, which meant we could put the points a little bit further out and create slightly longer roads. So as I mentioned earlier, the fiddle yard itself is going to be underneath the scenery on the layout. We're not going to have a scenic break with the fiddle yard behind it. The fiddle yard is actually going to be underneath the scenery with suitable access holes, of course. This will give us a depth of 1.50 m of actual scenic modelled area, which should give us plenty of space to create some interesting scenes. The Falla Fun Fair is certainly one of the things I'm looking at the moment. So if we now take a look at the station area, you'll notice this new aggregates area. Previously this was 2 dead-end holding sidings, but following a suggestion from Mark of the Wheels in Motion YouTube channel, we've turned this into an aggregates area with a head shunt. I was a little bit concerned about the length of train this will be able to hold, but we should be able to get 5 wagons into each loading road. The idea being that a train arrives on either platform 2 or the down fast, clears a shunt signal, reverses into platform 1, splits the train in half, pulls the first half into the first loading road, loco off into the head shunt, background into platform 1, brings the remaining wagons into the other loading road. Should make for some quite interesting shunting operations. You'll also note adjacent to platform number 1 we now have this dead end road or cripple siding, and that may have a fishy treat in it at some point. Just above the aggregates yard, the 2 holding sidings that were there previously have now been extended from 4 cars to 5 cars and realigned to follow the curvature of the track. I wasn't happy with the way they looked before with the big gap down the middle. Having 5 car roads gives us a little bit more operating flexibility. That means we can hold a 5 car Azuma set or hopefully a network route infrastructure monitoring train. So let's pop the branch line layer back in, and the idea is here, a train from platform 3 or platform 4 can come up the branch line and then into a 2-car fiddle yard road. There are only 2 roads and they're only capable of holding 2 cars each, but the majority of the traction up and down the branch line is going to be 142 pacers and 153 dog boxes. This is going to form one of the areas of automatic operation on the layouts. We will have a simple shuttle module shuttling the train backwards and forwards along the branch line. Now, the more eagle-eyed amongst you may have noticed that the branch line is kind of above the fiddle yard. So yes, we have got to raise the track up to get it round to the branch line, which is going to make operations a little bit more interesting once again. Now, the gradient on this may cause a little bit of a problem, so there may have to be some design amendments once we actually get into the building and we test what stock goes up and down. And to add a little bit more interest, coming off the branch line, we have got a free road loco maintenance facility. This is particularly important because we need somewhere to hold our steam locomotive that we're going to be using on rail tour services. Again, it's just going to give a little bit more interest to the layout operation, being able to take light engines up the branch line and into the maintenance depot. So as we zoom back out there for a full overview of the layout, a couple of points to note. The dashed lines that you can see on the board there are the baseboard joins, so I've had to make sure there's no point work or anything across the baseboard joins or anything that's going to give us any real issues. Second radius curve is the minimum that we've used on the layout. I've tried to keep everything third and fourth, but there are a couple of occasions when we've had to use second. And the only other concern I've got at the moment is less more? Have I tried to cram too much in on this layout? I'm aware that we've got quite a lot going on in the station area, but I'm hoping because we do have that 1.50 m depth of scenery, we are going to be able to balance that out quite nicely with a decent scenic area. But I am a bit concerned that maybe there's a little bit too much going on at the front, so I'll be very interested to hear your thoughts on that. So there we go, guys. That is the plan for the AnyRail model railway layout. I'll be really interested to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below or over on the Discord server. Come on. This is going to be a very interesting element of building the layout in the living room. I have 4 cats. This one is Simba, I believe. Come on, Clapham Junction for cats. Something we're going to have quite a lot of on the model railway layout. It's going to be Catzilla knocking buildings and traction over. But yeah, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts, any improvements you think we can make to the track plan. I'm kind of sort of set on what we've got at the moment, but you know, if we've got good ideas, then I am open to changing it. That's not a problem at all. So yeah, comments down in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well. It'd be absolutely brilliant if you can come on this journey with us, if you can follow the progress of the railway layout, and hopefully one day you can come along to an exhibition, have a look at it, maybe even have a go on it. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one.